Hello, welcome to the 8th episode of the 9th series of the Temple of Surf, the podcast. Today with us from France, Tristan Mausse of Fantastic Acid. We discuss with him about surfboard surfers and much more. Hello Tristan, welcome to the show. Where are you today?
Bonjour. I am at my factory, which is in Anglet, so which is close to Biarritz, and which is southwest France. So it's where I live and it's where I work.
Yeah, it's a fantastic city for all those European people that have the opportunity to visit the Basque countries like Pays Basque, and it's a fantastic place. And waves are big today, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a huge swell, but it's kind of stormy. So it's like onshore wind and so not too bad to surf today, but I think it's gonna be good. Yeah, tomorrow Sunday gonna be good. Then the wind gonna turn like offshore, for the reef, and so I think it's gonna be good.
Okay, but that's good. That's good news for the surfer. Anyway, the audience will hear this podcast in a few weeks, so I don't know how useful will be this for them, but nevertheless,
Yes,
important point to say that there are waves right now
yeah,
hitting France, and I guess for all the winter time, I'm sure.
yeah.
Today we're gonna talk about many things. Of course, shaping surfboard is gonna be one of them. But the first question I ask everyone on the show is, in your opinion, what is the most important thing in surfing?
I think for me the most important thing with surfing is mostly it's kind of cliche, but I mean it's what I feel. It's mostly the connection with the ocean.
Yeah,
Like to keep that connection with the ocean. So for me, like surfing need to stay in the ocean, and it's and surfing is not only about like surfing a wave with a surfboard. It's also like body surfing or just go for a swim in the ocean, or I think for me that's the most important thing about surfing, like the ocean.
of course, and it's not a cliche. It's a relationship that we develop with the ocean, right? And
Yeah,
sometimes it's scary, sometimes it's great, sometimes it's cold, sometimes it's whatever, So,
yeah,
and I agree with you, like each one of us has his own proper relationship, being body surf. Then obviously, I don't want to enter in a dispute environment, where SUP or longboard or shortboard or foil or whatever, as long people enjoy, right? And they have respect.
of course. Yeah, me neither. I have nothing. I mean, I have nothing against like a surf or someone who's doing foil or whatever. I mean, I'm really fine with that. This is not what I like to do, but I love to see people enjoying the ocean. And even if they love to enjoy the ocean with a different surfboard than mine. Like with a stand-up paddle or with a foil or with a windsurf or whatever. Like I think the most important is like they just enjoy the ocean, and this is it. Then I don't care if it's a foil or
So,
stand-up paddle or shortboard. Or, I love
uh,
every kind of support.
no, I was saying as long as there is respect of the lineup, right? And we cannot go like all crazy at the same time,
No, no, for sure, for sure.
one by one.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen anymore anyway. Oh, well, some places it does, maybe. Okay, so how did it start for you, your adventure with surfing? And in fact, since I'm sure you love surfboards and I do love surfboards, what was your first proper surfboard? Like the one that you were really looking forward to buy or to receive as a gift from your parents? Tell me a little bit more about that.
So I started surfing when I was 8 years old. 8 years old. So that was in 1996. So my parents were living in La Rochelle, I mean in Ete, and so maybe like 5 minutes from where they live, there is like a little surf beach, like it's a little reef, little point break. You can surf there. It can be really good, but it's not a super good spot, and it's just like it doesn't take swell often, you know, so you can maybe surf like once a month, you know, or something like that. But then if you drive from my parents' place, you like 1 hour, you know, 1 hour drive, 45 minutes, there is like an island called Oléron Island, and you can surf on that island. So it's where I was going mostly. But so everything started when I was 8 years old, because like some of my friends at school, you know, they were full on surfing because of their father, you know, like the whole family was surfing and everything. So when I was going on weekend with them, you know, they were taking me to surf. So I think I just felt in love with that, you know, with the whole atmosphere of their surfing family and the surfing house, and they were full into surf. Like, there were like surfboards everywhere in the house, and they were kind of like sharing, you know, sharing the aloha, you know, like showing me like everything about surfing and you know, the history. I mean, at that age, I was not taking care of surf history, but I mean, they were already like showing me like surfing is not only a sport, but it's more like a way of life, you know, and a culture. So I really dived deep into that, and I really loved it, and I never quit actually since that age. And so then I bought my first surfboard with my brother when I was 12, and I found I was not dreaming about a kind of surfboard. I just wanted to have a surfboard, you know, like any kind of surfboard. I just wanted to have my own surfboard. So I had no money, you know, and my parents have not too much money, so they couldn't afford like to buy us a surfboard. So we just like one day, you know, we just found a vintage surfboard to sell on a kind of like a vintage market, but it was more like you know, like cheap stuff to sell and stuff. And that place where my parents live, it's not too much about surfing, you know, not many people surf and everything. So nobody knew about a surfboard, what is really, you know, the value of a surfboard. So that one was for sale for like $100, and so my brother and I, we just bought it, and that was an Hawaiian juice. So Hawaiian juice was the label of Joël Roux, and Joël Roux is one of the like first French shapers, you know, and he moved to Hawaii in '72 to shape for Lightning Bolt, and then he came back to France with a Lightning Bolt license. And but anyway, so Hawaiian Juice was his brand in France, and so we bought that board with my brother, and so everything really started with that surfboard.
Nice. And do you still have it, perhaps, or whatever?
No, unfortunately, no, I don't have the board anymore. And I remember at that time we really also started with my brother we were a bit like fascinating by the shaping environment, you know, and so when we were like reading like the surfer journals and stuff, we were always looking for the photo, you know, about shapers and glasser, you know, and everything. So we decided to send that board, you know, we just like send everything and to repaint it. So that was my first like kind of job, you know, on a surfboard. So I loved it, you know, like to fix the ding and then to resend the whole top and bottom and to do a spray on the board. And we did like a special logo and everything. So that was it.
So you told me about the surf history, and not a lot of people are like do know so much of surf history nowadays. So I wanted to ask you, in your opinion, what is the best era for in the surf history? It's like the beginning. It's I don't know, the '60s, the shortboard revolution, the modern days. What if you had to pick?
Yeah.
What you would choose?
To be honest, I love so much surfboards and surf history, as I can't really pick one moment in the history, because I really loved each moment of the history. You know, I loved everything in the surf history, like the beginning, you know, with the ancient Hawaiian and the Captain Cook, and or even before, you know, with the Peruvian and everything. And I loved also you know, all the like the rebirth with Duke and Tom Blake, and then the hot curl guys, and then like, you know, Pat Curran and all, and then the Shambol Revolution, and I loved everything. I even love like when I watch, you know, like Tom Curran, or, you know, like all that era also, I loved it. So I loved everything. And sometimes, you know, I have some moments like when I was younger, maybe like 20 years, you know, like 20 years back, I was full into the Shambol Revolution. I'm still into it today, but today I'm getting a bit older. I'm also like, oh, I love, you know, like the hot curl era, you know, with George Dunning and Wally Froidette and everything. So my interests are changing, you know, like every year. Because I'm getting older, so I'm like, okay, the Shambol Revolution, I still love it, you know, but now I'm like, oh, that's also super deep and interesting, like the early 50s or everything, or so I think I love every aspect of the surf history. I love even like what's going on today. I love it also, like to see.
No, it actually is very fascinating because at the end it's not like okay, we can go back to the Hawaiians or we can go back to the Polynesian. Some people say also Chinese. We can go back to
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
days, but definitely surf history is quite short. Yeah, we're talking about
yeah, true, yeah.
and then so it's like and it's super short but so fascinating because there are so many things that happen and so much
In this,
so much
yeah, in a short period of time, finally, because like you said, it's so short for sure. I mean, when you watch like the European history or like the Renaissance, everything, all that is it's like a century and century of history. And when you watch like surfing history, it's like super short. So for sure, in that short amount of time, we got so many stuff going on. It's intense. I love the surf history because it's intense, and even today, it's still like changing a lot. Like maybe not in the good way, I don't know, but it's everything. A lot of things are going on, and it's good. But I love, yes, like for example, right now, I love to focus my research about surf history on the European history about surfing, because now I realize like we always talk about like the surfing in Hawaii and California, and I also realize now like fuck, we also have like quite a good and interesting history in France or Europe, in general. So I love also to now to dig into that.
of course you do and like France represented or still represents right but represented at that time the place where Europeans could go to surf. Maybe Portugal was not as famous as today. Italy
Yeah.
few people there, but I interviewed Joël de Rosnay. Joël de Rosnay,
Ah, yes. Nice.
founder, one of the founder of the Surf Club de France, and he told me
Yeah.
on those early days. So you could maybe listen to that episode if you haven't done yet, because it's interesting, and plus he is such a genius, right? On top of being a
Yeah.
so
Yeah. He's very smart. Yeah.
definitely. Okay, so many questions that I have for you, but since we were talking about innovations or changes in the surfboard design, how do you tackle the topic of innovation today? What are you focusing on?
It's kind of special because what I'm doing, I mean, I'm focusing only on one kind of design, like the displacement hull. So it's already like very tight as but so what I'm doing, like those boards, they are very specific and they are really technical to surf, especially if you don't surf the right wave, and especially if you don't surf in the right way with those boards, because there is a way to surf those boards. It's not hard actually. I mean, for me, it's natural, but for most of the people, they mostly surf with their rear foot, and that those design they are made to be surfed with the mostly like front foot, and it's a different kind of surfing. So I'm basing all my research on that design, the displacement hulls, but then I'm trying to take as a base what has been made before, but I'm trying after to develop it in something a bit more contemporary, like to add like some like modern touch, or to change a few stuff. So then it's make you able to surf those boards in not only in Malibu or Rincon, but you can surf it on your beach break, because the beach break, it's like shorter and maybe faster, so I'm just trying to improve on that, like take the base from the basement of the displacement hull, so just like the classic Bailey V, like no tail rocker and like the flex fin and the fin placement and everything. But then I'm trying to change a few stuff, and I'm still trying to do, it's like still very new. So I still have so many research and things to try, but yeah, it's what I'm doing. So a lot of fail, but a few stuff works good. And so I'm happy with a few stuff, and I'm trying to just like, if people want to try, I'm happy to share, and that's it.
But is a niche in the world of surfboard shaping, of course, especially if you do only that, right? Just for like the normal guy on the street that is
Yeah,
listening
yeah.
podcast. Can you tell us more about displacement hull? How does it work? is fast surfing, front foot. What is
Yeah.
it?
So
To explain to the
so
guy on the
so
street.
basically displacement hull. It's the bottom shape of the board is rounded. It's like convex, you know. So when you see like most of the surfboards today, maybe 99% of the surfboards today, they are flat bottom shape or they are concave. So those, we call those like planing hulls because they are planing above water, you know, because they are like moving above the water. But then the displacement hull, thanks to the belly, you know, is staying into the water. So it's like sitting deeper in the water. So it's just like it's always stay connected to the water. Instead of if you take like a flat bottom shape or a concave surfboard, you're gonna just it's not the same feeling because you're above the water. So you know, like Bob Simons, like
Yeah.
he was doing like when he was doing his research with the Lindsay Lord books, he was like the final result was like the planing hull. So they were doing those research for the boat, but it's the same for the surfboard. Like the planing hull is faster than the displacement hull, which makes sense because like the displacement hull is pushing a bit of water, which is good if you manage it good, you know. But and then the planing hull is like it's going above water, so there is no resistance, so it's just like going fast. But today it's a bit different because also the contemporary rocker now are different than before, you know. So of course now maybe like a displacement hull of today would be faster than a planing hull of today because the displacement hull of today kept the super flat tail rocker. But then if you take like a planing hull from today, like a contemporary shortboard, you know, there is a bit more curve in the rocker. So it's just like pushing a bit more water, you know, there is less surfaces to glide on the water. But anyway, I'm losing myself. But so displacement hulls, it's been always present on surfboard, like the Olo, the OLO, you know, from the ancient Hawaiian, they were full belly V. And then like all the board, you know, like all the elephant gun, you know, from Pat Curran and Ricky Grigg, like Greg Norrell, those board they were riding, like the third front of the board were all like full belly V. And then like it moved to the transitional era with all those S deck, you know, like S deck single fin and all the Yetter, like they were all like full belly V. But then after like G Brewer arrived with like down rail and flat bottom shape, and then it's all disappeared in a few years, bam. And then except Greg Liddell, but then you could never see again like a board with a belly V. So yeah, the displacement hull has been always present on the surfboard, you know, and it's just like all disappeared with after the shortboard revolution, like completely disappeared except Greg Liddell who kept going who pushed, you know, like the design of the displacement hull. And yeah, so it's a different surf because everything on the board most of the time is like moved forward on the outline, and so the sweet spot and the widest point is like moved forward. The fin is moved forward, you know. So it's make like those board you really need to surf on the front of the board, and most of the time you surf the board not on the pivot of the fin, but you surf the board on the rail. So it's a completely different surfing compared to like a flat bottom shape, you know, surfboard. You are surfing more on the rear foot, and you are using the fin, you know, to pivot. You are pivoting on the fin to turn the board, and also the displacement hull, like a true displacement hull, normally it's not really made to be turned. It's not really made for cutback. It's more, you know, like for like trimline, fast wave, you know, and
Fantastic. No, thank you for the explanation. You know, like we're passionate of surfboards is never enough, right? We can start to talk about hydrodynamics and flows of waters and you know, resistance and all this.
Yeah.
But I guess I hope I hope that the audience understood. But it's a quite is a simple topic, but it's a huge one, right? So
Yeah.
um,
But you know, it's also like like in a few words, like with the displacement hull, it's I think you also need to give a lot of yourself into the board. It's a full involvement, you know, kind of surfing, and you can't really cheat with your surfing when you engage your line. You know, like you need to respect your line. If not, the board doesn't follow. You know, it's for that also like so many people doesn't like those boards because your surfing and your line need to be correct. You know, from the beginning, and but it's what I love. Like, you know, I love the challenging board, and I love and then if you really get to understand the board, like I feel the feeling of a displacement hull is like it's for me, it's like amazing. really get that feeling with another board. It's what I feel like. You really feel connected, to the water, and you really feel connected with the wave. Like it's like the oneness feeling. And when I go on a different board, like I try different board, and for sure I also love like every kind of board, but I can't have that feeling, So I think it's really special, the displacement hull feeling.
Okay, I like that. And of course, we're discussing about innovation of design, but there is also innovation of materials, no, which are the same, right? Of traditional,
Yeah.
but even in materials, there is a lot of things going on. We can, I don't know, look at Kelly's later new shark,
Yeah.
surfboard,
Epoxy, carbon, everything. Yeah.
carbon, or maybe more like environmental friendly. Like, and
Yeah.
the discussion that I had is like, okay, foam is not really environmental friendly, but it's what everybody use, and it needs to be adopted. If we want to go for the next thing, we need everybody, the whole industry, to adopt it in order to.
I know for sure. Yeah.
In material, how are you innovating or thinking to innovate? If
Honestly, I'm really bad on that, and it's a shame. And we have some guys just behind my factory. They are doing like the blanks polyola, So they are doing like a brand of blanks, which is like eco-sustainable. They are just like like they are trying to make something a bit more ecological, like less toxic. And the blanks are good. And I shipped already a few of their blanks, but I'm not taking enough of their blanks, and I should. But it's just like I have like most of my customers, they always want like the special colors and the special stuff. And so I'm just like sticking to the white blank, US blanks. And also I have, I have all my custom workers with US blank, which is like easier to shape for me. And so yeah, honestly, it's a bit a shame. I'm not putting enough effort into that, but I want to. I want to for sure. I want to try to use like different resin and the blanks. Maybe I would love to try a bit more, the Polyola blanks, and to shape them more, or other brand. But yeah, for sure, I want. It's a shame when you love the ocean, and you see like all the toxic that we are using to make a surfboard. It's for sure it's a shame, and I'm not proud of that.
like, of course, it's a large topic that the whole industry sometime will have to deal with at a certain point. But also, who knows? Maybe in 10 years down the line, down the road, there will be an innovation of a new, let's say, material that could eventually replace foam in a very easy way.
Yeah.
We never give up on that, and technology goes very fast. So one day maybe there will be something, but it still is not a
Yeah.
thing. If there is a will, there is a way. Somebody said, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. But I feel like, I feel with the surf industry, it's like everything is not really moving finally, because when you look at also the price, of the surfboards, it increased a bit, but not too much. And when you see like a shaper, he's still struggling to get his living, out of surfboard. And still today, it's the surf industry exists since the 50s, and or even before with Pete Peterson and like Svatiska board, everything. But so it's kind of an old industry, and it's still kind of the same. Still not able, like a shaper is still struggling today to get a living with his surfboards. And I feel it's like the same. We are almost in 2024, and there is not too much big change about materials and everything.
Yeah.
So I feel like people, they are locked into I don't know. It's like nothing is really changing into the surf industry. And like I'm sure if I say tomorrow I'm gonna do all my board with by wood, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna lose all my customers. Like most of the customers, like they want like a plastic foam and like a tint resin with everything. Like I feel sometimes like maybe people are afraid, to change, and they are locked into something. Maybe it's also our fault. Maybe we don't show the right path. I don't know.
Then if you use wood, then they will tell you, but you're gonna kill the forest, right? So that then it never ends, right?
Maybe, yeah. But but for sure, it's not the customer who is responsible. Also, it's like we have to change, to do the changement and the shapers and so it's not the fault of the customer. It's but I think it's also what I want to say. It's also hard sometimes. Like I was saying, it's hard to make a living out of surfboard, and so sometimes you are just trying to pay the bills and and to feed your kids, and it's a bit scary sometimes to change, to think like, okay, fuck, I'm gonna stop all that all that toxic resin and polyester foam, and I'm gonna go on wood, or I'm gonna go on those bio resin and bio foam, and it's always a bit scary because it's if you don't have the money on the side, it's can be scary to lose like the business. And
No, there was a very interesting interview that I had with Aquila Ipa,
yeah,
Ipa, that is really telling that there is not too much money in making surfboard, and
not at all. Yeah,
make sure that the retail price, let's say the price to consumer, it's affordable up to a certain level. It's already expensive, but not too much. And
yeah,
and we have to pay a lot of things. And at the end, for every board, if we make $80 profit or $100 profit, it's already a lot. And in order
yeah,
to sustain life, and live with a family and so and so, you need to make a lot of surfboards.
yeah, yeah,
It's hard, and you have a lot of wannabe surfboard shaper that are popping up in Instagram every day, blah 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 blah. So no, but in reality, because making surfboards is a craft,
yeah,
it's kind of job of artisan, right? And so
yeah.
we need to protect that, And another topic is that there are no subsidy from the governments to surfboard shapers,
No, for sure. Yeah,
like they
yeah,
do for car manufacturer, right? And so,
yeah,
that's it's actually a complicated situation,
yeah.
and so
But no, but it's true. I mean, for me, I'm still young, but I'm really sad when I see, when I see like all the old guys, like I don't know, like Roger Hine was talking about that last time, and
ah,
I don't know, when I see like Jack Reeves and old Chapman still, and all the guys are even, like Akila Ipa still, like they are all like super good, like super like talented craftsmen, and they've been doing that their whole life, and they are like also like super good surfer and everything, but they are still struggling. It's crazy. Like when you see in different jobs, like it's not happening like that. I mean, not often. Like, but you see the surfing industry is really. It seems like if you are like you need to be like a really big like chain, like a big group.
yeah,
But there is no in between. Like it's if you want to stick to your value, of making like a good product with good material and take the time to make it good, like to get a good quality and everything. And it's just it's just not not paid enough. And so it's. But then, like I was just talking with a friend before, and I feel also we get paid from another way, not with money, but I think like the surf can give you a lot of good thing on the side of money, So I feel rich in that way, like to meet to meet like good people and to listen good stories and to be able to be free, like to surf whenever you want to surf and to travel and everything around that. And I think we also need to see sometimes like to be rich is not only money, it's also like the life, like it's everything around. And I always felt like when I'm traveling to shape and in different countries, like people, they're always like so nice and so happy to share. And, it's always like good, super good experience. And so I feel like this is like the richness of maybe like shaping surfboard and glassing surfboard.
yeah, I agree with you. There is more than just to do.
Money. Yeah.
And if you want to have fun, please listen the interview with Chris Christensen when he
Yeah.
talks about innovation, and he tells like that some guys from NASA, they came up to him with a new glassing
Wow. Crazy.
I let you listen to the episode. It's very fun because of course it did not work, but but it was fun to hear from him the whole story. So if you have like time to spare, maybe
For
not
sure.
might be in the car. It's a fun thing. Plus, it's such a great.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. Yeah. We listen that. Yeah.
In your opinion, what is the most important thing shaping? I asked you in surfing, but in shaping.
I think the most important thing in shaping, I think that would be to. Well, there is so much like important thing, but I would think the most would be to be able to judge yourself, and to don't stop to the first opinion of like, oh, like I made that board, I made that model, this is good, like, and this is enough. I think it's good sometimes to be honest with yourself and to say to yourself like, oh, this doesn't work, like, because it's always hard to think like, oh, that doesn't work, I need to. But I think it's important to really. So I think the most important is to surf what you are shaping. That I think it makes sense, So it's good to surf what you are shaping, and then as much as you can, of course. And then it's good to be honest with yourself and to think like that doesn't work at all. I need to change that, or I will say that's the most important thing.
How much you are open to feedback? You're surfing the board that you're shaping, and you learn from it. But if a client come back and tell you like, Tristan, maybe this board was not like top, you should change this, you change that. Are you open to feedback, or you prefer just to try it yourself?
No. Of course, I'm open to feedback. No, of course. And I'm not a super good surfer. I'm not a professional surfer. Like I love to have the, like the feedback from everybody. And I have learned a lot from my customers. Like really, especially when I mean every of my customers. I'm not only in the location, but when I'm going to California, I learned a lot from my customers because they most of the time they know more than me. Like I'm only 35 years old, so like most of the time, like some old guys, they are surfing the earls, since like 35 years. I was still not born even, or so of course, like they know, they tell me, maybe you should, like you should move forward a bit, like the belly V, or the rails on the tail was not releasing enough water. You should like thin a bit the rail on the tail and stuff. And I always learned a lot, and I'm super thankful for that. I think it's a good relationship with the customers. I love that.
Who are your references in the world of surfboard shaping?
Honestly, I have respect for all the shapers because I know it's a hard job, and I love every, like all the surfboard builder. I love all the surfboard builder. I have no special preference, or like I'm really happy to see the job of everyone, and I've been a glasser. I've been a glasser for years and years and years, and so I'm still glassing today for people in my factory who are still doing some glass job, and so I've been like meeting like many shapers, and I love the work of everybody. It's not there is no preference. I think everybody has his own touch and his own like vision of surfing, and I really respect that. And so, I don't have special preference. And
Okay, but you know what? At the end of this interview, I will ask you a short Q&A session, and one of the questions will be, who's your favorite shaper of all time? So you escape the answer in this question, but you will not escape that one.
Okay. Okay, sure.
You have not to be that polite at the end of the interview.
I will give you a name. I will give you a name which really inspire me if you want.
Cool. And so let's talk about other surfers. And again, is a question that I ask sometimes on the show. Is I'm sure you met a lot of surfers. Some of them maybe pro surfers. Some of them like normal surfers, like each one of us. But was there a meeting for you that was particularly meaningful? That after the meeting you were particularly impressed, and it was something that maybe changed your life ideas, or
actually, I mean, I think I had a lot of moments like that in my life. But I will tell you the last one, which happened, not long ago, maybe like 2 weeks ago or last month. Okay. I had the venue at my factory of Sam Yoon. Sam Yoon is Korean Australian, and he's like 50 years old, and he's also like spending all his winter, each of his winter on the North Shore or on Maui. And so he came to my factory like 2 weeks ago, and I got introduced to him by my friend Clovis Donizetti, the surfer. And I remember like Clovis, like maybe 2 or 4 years ago, he was already talking to me with him. He was like, you need one day to meet Sam Yoon. Like he's a real pure hardcore guy and you love him. And And I was like, oh, sure. Like, he was always sending me photo of his boards and, of him surfing. And I was like, oh yeah, he look, like super interesting. And so finally I met Sam, 2 weeks ago. And I think the first, like we just saw each other and we were just like already pulled into fusion, like, we were exactly on the same vision of surfing. And yeah, like to meet Sam was really, for me, was really disturbing, but in the good way, it was really something special. And so we got to surf together for like 1 week, 10 days. We surfed Parliamentia and a bit everywhere. And we got to exchange the boards. I tried his boards and tried my boards, and we were full on the same vision of surfing. And I have so much respect for him, and I am so impressed of what he's doing. And I remember he was mostly talking about like, I'm doing my design, and I know everybody is judging me when I'm going to Jaws, or when I'm surfing Waymare with my big fish. He's surfing Jaws he's surfing maybe like 20-foot Jaws with a 7-7 fish, like super thick waves. And he's always saying like, this is my rhino fish, because it's like a rhino chaser gun, like a elephant gun. But I'm just like, so keeping the same volume on the rail, same rockers, but I'm just like cutting the nose, cutting the tail and doing a fish, but then I have the same volume of like 11-foot elephant gun, but it's all compacted on a 7-7. Like, so anyway, he was just saying like, everybody was just like telling him like, don't go to Jaws, with the 7-7 board, like you're going to kill yourself, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, that's my problem, like I trust myself, I trust my design. And he was doing all that, like his mentality of, he just like trust his design and also really trying hard his design and changing stuff, like taking years to refine, like a design. And also the whole mentality he had around surfing, of sharing waves and sharing board. And so at the end, he shaped a board, a few people wanted to order a board for him, and then he didn't really want it to shape. He just wanted to surf, but mostly I think he was like, he wrote me a message at 11 p.m. one night. He was like, okay, bro, tomorrow I'm coming. I'm going to shape a board for you for free. But then it's going to be for everybody who want to try it, like you are like the Messi, to share my board. And I was like, fuck yeah, sure. So he shaped the board. We shaped the board together the day after, and he spent the day to shape the board. And so I'm just glassing it now, and it's gonna be for everyone who want to try it, like for. And so the day after, we surfed together some tube, in Osogor, and he got the board in the belly, and he almost killed himself. Like we had to call the emergency, and he went to hospital, and he got surgery. Well, it was crazy. So intense, like I was with him for like 1 week, and in 1 week, like so much things happened, and he almost died. And so anyway, like he's okay now, but he got surgery, and like 2 days after he left the hospital, he went to Nazaré, and he surfed like Super Tubos and Nazaré, and then he went to Madère, and he's still in Madère today. But so anyway, that's one of my last meeting, with someone who really I got really like lucky to meet him, and to share moments with him. And also it's me like, fuck, that guy, he has no, he doesn't care of the ego and the glory of being a shaper or surfer. He really surfs for the surf, he really shapes for the surf, and it's everything for the surf. And it's what I really love. It's good sometimes to meet people like that.
Definitely great experience. And like once you are up back on your feet, you go back to the next wave. There is never, it never stops. It never stops.
Yeah.
What was before we go to the Q&A session? Just the last question I would like to ask you: what was the best wave of your life?
I think the best wave of my life. Well, I think, I don't know. It's hard. There is a lot, but I would say one day in Parliamentia. Maybe one day on Parliamentia, yeah, a big day, like maybe too big for me. So I was a bit too afraid, and I was mostly staying on the channel, outside, and I was not really catching waves. It was too scary for me. So I was just like trying to catch, but at the same time, not really fully confident with myself. And I remember the night, it was like full winter. So maybe like it was like maybe 3 years ago. And the night was going, like it was getting night. It was getting darker and darker. And so no more people in the water, or maybe just like one or two guys. And it was getting super dark. I had to go. So I just, and then like a huge set came on the outside. So I was on the right place, and I had to take one, and I just took that wave and I made it. And I think that was one of my best waves.
Okay. And for whoever doesn't know, Parlamense is one of the most historical wave, right, over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's a beautiful wave in Bidart, Guettari Bidart. It's a beautiful wave. Like it's a bit flat. It's not really hollow. I mean, on the takeoff it's hollow, but after it's becoming a bit flat. So it's fun when it's big because you can really play on the wave, and yeah, I love that wave. It's a good wave.
Okay, so ready for the Q&A session.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing your best wave, and now I would like to know the best surfboard that you ever rode.
Best surfboard that I ever rode. I would say I loved the Midget Farrelly Gordon and Smith V bottom, stringerless.
You select one.
Wait, no, wait. Maybe a Kyo, a Kyo V bottom, stringerless. My friend Jesse McNamara lent me that board to try, and I love the board. It was a Kyo, and I think it was shaped by Kevin Platt, but there were no signature, so we don't know. But I think that was Kevin Platt.
Yeah. Kyo, like Midge Fairley, like who was the head shaper back then, like
Neil Purchase also was shaping for Kyo. Not Neil Purchase Junior, Neil Purchase Senior, the father of Neil Purchase.
Bob McTavish also, I think,
Yeah.
So it can be shaped by one of the big guys.
Yeah. But Kevin Platt also was a really good shaper and good surfer. Yeah. But so that was that board. I loved it. Yeah.
So then we go to the famous question: favorite shaper of all time?
Joe Quigg.
Okay. Personal question: your favorite song or kind of music?
Right now, I would say Zoamba. It's avant-garde jazz from New York.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it now.
I have a bonus question on this because with all these episodes and talking with shapers all over the world, there are two kinds of shapers. One shaper that blasts the music very loud in the shaping room, and one shaper that listens to the sound of shaping. So, who are you, the first or the second?
The first one, music very loud in the headphone. Yeah, I love the music to shape. Yeah.
Okay. Favorite surf spot?
It's hard. Okay, I will say Changong, Taiwan.
Okay, I never heard that. So, I never heard on the podcast. And so,
yeah.
Then, favorite surfer of all time?
Nat Young.
Fantastic. The classic Nat Young, right?
Yeah. Classic Nat Young. Yeah.
Cool. And the last question is a bit unusual. I like to know your best relationship advice.
Best relationship advice.
Yeah. And it can be friendly, romantic, it can be a relationship with the wave. I don't care. Just answer.
Be yourself.
Yeah, it works for everything, right?
Yeah.
Don't ask me why I came up with this question. I don't remember, but now after 150 episodes, I will ask everyone. Cool. Thank you so much. Merci, Tristan, for being on the show with me today. I look forward to you very soon.
Okay. Thank you so much.
A bientôt. Ciao.
Bye-bye. Ciao.
Hi, it's me again. I hope you enjoyed our today's episode. If you want to know more about us, please follow www.thetempleofsurf.com and all our social media. Mahalo!